All right, y'all. I can't start this Thanksgiving without doing a reaction to my boy Benny Johnson, y'all. Benny Johnson and your girl B back at it again. Panic. Trump White House invites Joe Rogan, streamers, podcasters, a press briefings. CNN banned, as they should be, y'all. Suck it down. I'm sick of all these folks staring up all this chaos because they can't take the L when it's thrown at them. Can't take the L when it's thrown back at you, can you? Well, y'all, with that being said, I'm finna go ahead and dive on into the video. Let's see what the chaos is today. Let's dive into it.
They're hundreds and hundreds of miles away. That's not an invasion.
Honestly, I think you should let me run the country. You run CNN.
All right.
And if you did it well, your ratings would be much better.
If I may ask one other question, are you worried?
That's enough. That's enough.
Mr. President, I was
enough.
going to ask one of the other folks.
That's enough.
Pardon me, ma'am. Mr. President.
That's enough. Enough. Put down the mic.
Mr. President, are you worried about indictments coming down in this investigation?
Somebody get his mic.
I'll tell you what, CNN should be ashamed of itself.
What's up, guys? Your boy Benny. There's so much that I missed about the first season of the Trump White House. I'm so excited we're getting a second season, but one of the most entertaining parts of this series is President Trump versus his arch nemesis, the corporate media. Who misses this?
Between you people, don't talk to me that way. You're just a lightweight. Don't talk to me that way. Don't talk to. I'm the president of the United States. Don't ever talk to the president that way.
Go ahead, take one. Well, I'll give you voters. I will give you voter suppression. You just have to sit down, please. Sit down. I didn't call you. I didn't call you. Okay, question? Yeah, go ahead. Sure. She's shocked that I picked her.
No.
Like in a state of shock.
I'm not thinking, Mr.
That's
President.
okay. I know you're not thinking. You never do.
I'm sorry?
No, go ahead. Go ahead. How many cases were in the United States when I did my ban? How many people had died in the United States?
Did you acknowledge that you didn't think
Keep your voice down, please. Keep your voice down.
Do you want him to rein in Robert Mueller?
What a stupid question that is. What a stupid question. But I watch you a lot. You ask a lot of stupid questions.
You didn't let me ask my question.
You've been asking a question for 10 minutes, so please sit down.
The argument is that you bought yourself some time. You didn't use it to prepare hospitals. You didn't use it to ramp up testing. Right now,
You're so disgraceful. It's so disgraceful the way you say that. Look. You know you're a fake. You know that your whole network, the way you cover it, is fake. And most of you, and not all of you, but the people are wise to you. That's why you have a lower approval rating than you've ever had before.
This is true.
What, Trump?
The media approval rating is at historic cratered lows. Ladies and gentlemen, media viewership is at historic cratered lows. So as much as entertaining that was in Trump White House season 1 to watch Trump joust with a press that was shockingly lost their balls during the Joe Biden era of the White House. Like, what happened to you exactly? Have you ever seen Joe Biden get yelled at by the press? Did anybody ever take a tone like that with cringe Jean-Pierre? What happened? Worth asking. I can tell you what happened. I can show you what happened in the cable news ratings. I can show you what happened to these frauds after their audiences realized that they'd been lied to and psyop. Those audience all mass migrated over to Fox News. An incredible phenomenon where MSNBC lost about 30% of its viewers to Fox. Look at them now. Total share of the prime time and day audience. MSNBC 12%, CNN 16%, Fox News 65%.
Excuse me.
People appreciate those who tell the truth. Let's look at the raw number of viewers.
They do.
Fox News Channel has
I
300,000 primetime viewers. This is in the coveted demo. This is considered 54 is considered young for cable news demographics. Just letting you know, the majority of cable news viewers are like over 70. So this is considered like very young. So 300,000 people watch Fox News. That's considered great. CNN, 79,000 people watch CNN. MSNBC, 60. I tell you the truth. Our stream gets more viewers than MSNBC and CNN. Isn't that amazing? When did we become a publicly traded company? Look at this. Total day. CNN. This is in prime time. This is just so normally during the day. How many people watch? Fox News, 200,000. CNN, 53,000. MSNBC, 42,000. 42,000?
Wow.
I could publish a photo of my salt shaker and get more views.
Of my water.
My comically large 3D printed salt shaker. That's here in the studio. The lid always falls off. In contrast, Theo Von's podcast with Donald Trump, 15 million views. Andrew Schultz, flagrant podcast with Donald Trump. Nearly 10 million views, 9 million views.
Hey.
Joe Rogan, the big daddy of them all, 51 million. This is just on YouTube, right? So you need to add tens of millions more on Spotify listens and on X. 100 million plus people listen to Donald Trump on Rogan. Look at this. Look at how atrocious these numbers are. They're not able to, this is the number one show that they have here. They're not able to crack 100,000 viewers. MSNBC, they're not able to crack 100,000 viewers. It's nightmarish for them. Ladies and gentlemen, this is why it needs to change. You see, the President of the United States should want the most number of people seeing what they do. However, the seats inside of the White House press pool, I would know this because I worked inside the White House press pool, are very limited. It's a very small little room. And the president and his team are now saying, hey, here's a small little room. I mean, it's amazing how really teeny this room is. President's team, Donald Trump's team, are saying, wait a second, like, who are these jackasses? They have no audience. So why should we reward them with a seat in the White House when nobody listens to them? Why don't we go to people with actual audiences, which are podcasters and people in the digital space? Donald Trump is considering giving the likes of Joe Rogan, Megyn Kelly, a seat at the White House press briefing room. The stunning plan was revealed with Donald Trump's recent episode of his Triggered podcast. Michael Knowles admitted that the incoming White House press secretary, Carolyn Leavitt, may rework the briefing room for Trump's new podcast, Bro Buddies. I wonder how your father would be assembling his team. Maybe Carolyn Leavitt is looking for a new press briefing room chart in order to reorganize. Yeah, we're going to break some news here, said Don Jr. I finally had this conversation flying back on the plane. And I said, we should have like people who actually have audiences in our podcast, like Joe Rogan, to ask questions there at the White House press briefing room. I would love there to be a creator space in the White House. Love there to be a space where people that have digital audiences that are far more powerful than, I mean, most of the room is print and radio. Most of that briefing room is print and radio. For like people working for the Sacramento Bee to write an article in a printed newspaper. It's arcane. The day has gone. If this was 40 years ago, it'd be one thing. We're in 2024. Everything's changed. Don Jr. revealed that he would be considering putting podcasters taking the spots of discredited legacy news publications. It's unclear whether the news outlets could be on the chopping block. This is the first nail in the coffin for the dying mainstream media. Elon is right. We are the media now. Okay, so I'll throw here to this clip of John Shahidi, who works with the Nelk Boys and Theo Von. I think he's the manager of these guys. He runs up the Happy Dad brand and everything like that. Nelk Boys, Theo Von's Full Send. So John Shahidi it goes on TMZ and says, listen, I came up with this idea, pitched it to the Trump team to bring in podcasters and people that actually have real living audiences to mainstream into the bloodline, like the questions that, I don't know, would be asked by people who actually speak to real Americans every single day, like this channel and others. to reactivate young men to reassert themselves in a masculine way on their society that they live in, instead of cudgeling and beating down young men, to re-engage them into the way this system works, the way their government operates. It's the biggest threat to the machine. And that's what putting creators in the podcast, in those seats in the White House would do. Check this out.
Here's what Don Jr. had to say about the press corps and how it could be changing.
We were talking about like the podcast world and some of our friends and Rogan. We had the conversation about opening up the press room to a lot of these independent journalists. Like, why should, if the New York Times has lied, they've been adverse to everything, they're functioning as the marketing arm of the Democrat Party, like, why not open it up to people who have larger viewerships, stronger followings? Like, it's not like the New York, I mean, how much money are they losing a year? The Washington Post, well, 70 to 45 to $70 million, doesn't seem like they're a great success. So just because they've been there longer, it's like the way Congress functions. Like, you get a committee, not because you know anything about banking, but because you've been there longer. And it's like, doesn't seem like a great way to do things. So we've had that conversation. Like, that's a great idea, Don. I was like, I think we should do this. And so that may be in the works.
Okay, so here's the thing. There are 49 seats in that press room, and they're filled right now, and filled with traditional media. And so what they're talking about is booting some of the traditional media for podcasters. And I got to say, there's something to this. And there's
how does that play out in the press briefing? Is hi, Mr. President, Nelk Boys here.
So what?
Yeah.
So what? I mean, it's like that's the way people are consuming
know what you're
news.
saying.
That's the way people are consuming news right now.
And
they have a huge audience. And by the way, there are people who listen to Joe Rogan and they don't watch NBC or read the New York Times.
I totally agree with that. That is the best argument for doing this.
Yeah.
There is also an argument against doing it because you got to take that job seriously, right?
What does that mean?
It means that you have to be a journalist. You have to actually ask the questions that not only challenge the administration, but get to what's really going on, so you can deliver that news to the public.
And I would agree with you if we were 30 years ago. But today, most mainstream media, they've got an agenda, and on both sides. I'm not talking about one side, both sides. And
okay, so you just want to surrender the fight because I think I'm not disagreeing with you.
I think the fight's surrendered already. I mean, I think the fight's surrendered already. And if anything, some of these podcasters are not as determined, and subtle about sneaking in information on both sides to be an advocate. So I don't know. Let's bring in somebody who knows what the heck they're talking about.
On that podcast, Don Jr. made it seem like this was his idea, but from what we've heard, he came up with this during a conversation with someone who knows the podcasting world very well. John Shahidi is the manager for the aforementioned Nelk Boys, as well as Theo Vaughn.
And hugely popular.
Incredibly popular. And they both shows sat down with Donald Trump. So joining us right now is John Shahidi. Welcome to TMZ Live, John.
What's up, guys? What's up, Charlie? What's up, Harvey? How you guys doing?
We're good. We're good. Well, I got to tell you, I'm so fascinated by this. It makes a lot of sense to me. I mean, we saw how it impacted the election, so people are listening. The question, how would it work? I mean, how would, say, a Theo Vaughn, who's a comedian...
How you even came up with this and when, like, your conversation with Don, and just start with the germ of this.
Yeah. Well, I brought it up to a few people at the administration, and I just think it's the best way to deliver news to the audience that, to the younger audience. Obviously, mainstream media has its own audience and the older crowd, but
I mean, because at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? Most, like my kids and everybody, they kind of go to YouTube for like everything. You know what I'm saying? They not really looking at some of these now. You probably got the college students and things like that, but the younger crowd and stuff like that, they're going to go straight to YouTube. They're going to go to their favorite podcasters and people like that to get their daily news from. You know what I'm saying? That's just this part of the generation. Me, I kind of dig around, YouTube here, there, because, we're finding out different things at different times. But yeah, this might be interesting, y'all. I think they're onto something. Let's get it.
But, when he did this podcast run, with Milk Boys, Theo Vaughn, even the live streamers, Aiden Ross, Patrick Bet David. He tapped into a whole different audience that doesn't necessarily watch NBC or ABC or CNN. They might watch TMZ Live, but they're not watching, these other networks. And I think to deliver messages to them is important. And, President Trump's a genius. He figured that out last couple of years and went on this podcast run. It really wasn't the tail end of the campaigning. I mean, he's been doing this since I think the first Milk episode, which was 2022.
Yup. We on to something. We on to something now. We on to something. We on to something now. We on to something. We on to something now. We on to something. Let's get it. Happy Thanksgiving. I hope y'all enjoy y'all day with y'all family. Look at her drunk. Tell her she's drunk. And I don't know. Oh, okay. That's X. Fine. Okay, I'm just looking. Really? Okay, y'all. Oh, Pee-wee! Pee-wee! No, okay, let me stop. I blame y'all for that. Oh my, okay, y'all. Back to the reaction. I hope y'all are having a wonderful day, y'all. Just go ahead, eat as much turkey and all that. Get stuff. You know what I'm saying? The reaction I was saying, don't get stuff. Get stuff. You deserve it, y'all. We've had a long run, but I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Thank y'all for all the love and support. Hopefully, y'all were able to get the informative information from Benny, my boy, and your girl B. But it's Thanksgiving, y'all. I don't know. In between my reaction, my puppy come running up under here through my cords. I'm like, oh God, Carly, get back. The kids are here wilding live mom life, y'all. It's mom life on a Thursday. Thanksgiving. Your TV going on in the back. All that. But your girl gotta react. I gotta get these reactions out for y'all today. But I appreciate y'all for tuning in, kicking it with your girl. Thank y'all so much. Thank you for everybody who's starting this journey, who's been with me on this journey. Y'all, let's continue to keep learning. Let's continue to keep growing our minds. That's what it is. And as you can see now, we are not the only one doing the research and figuring out things. Just rewind it back to November 5th if you need a reminder. Even if some just say, hey, I am sick and tired of the way this is going. I don't want to do another 3 years and they ain't even researching. At least they got it. At least they got it. So I appreciate y'all. Have a great day. Happy holidays. Until the next reaction, y'all. Your girl is out. Be safe. Remain safe out in them streets now. And don't get to talking that crap with them family members. They get to talking. Politely get your plate. Be smart. Get that plate that you packed and take it on to the house and enjoy the rest of your day. All right? I'm out.